Am I overreacting for being upset that my fiancé let me go hungry? I'm just gonna hop right into the story. Basically, my fiancé and I just moved into a new apartment today and have not had time to go grocery shopping. Also, sadly enough for me, my purse was stolen while I was in a graduate class yesterday evening, so I currently do not have access to my funds. I paid for the deposit as well as next month's rent for the apartment, and also have been responsible for purchasing the living room furniture. My fiancé bought our bedroom furniture. Well, this evening, he asked what we should have for dinner, and I suggested a local Chinese takeout spot as it's cheap and quick. He responded with, "Okay, go get it." To which I asked if he was paying for it, because again, card stolen. He said, "Nope. Looks like you'll have to find something else." I just went and continued unpacking my closet. About 30 minutes later, he told me that he'd be back and quickly left the apartment. When he returned, he had gotten himself takeout from a different place and also grabbed a frozen meal from a convenience store. I was immediately frustrated because he didn't mention food when he left, but I didn't say anything. Then when he put the frozen meal away, he turned and said, "That's not your dinner, it's my lunch tomorrow," which just caught me off guard. I got pretty upset and asked what he expected me to eat because we literally have no food in the apartment yet, and I won't have access to any type of money until I can get to my bank tomorrow. He literally just shrugged at me and then took his meal into our bedroom where he ate while unpacking. I won't lie, I cried and called my best friend, asking if she would please bring me snacks or something to get me through the night because the last time that I ate was at 7 a.m. My fiancé said that I was dramatic and that I'd be fine until I could go to the bank tomorrow to get cash. My feelings are so hurt because I do not understand how he could let me go hungry, even for just a night. Am I overreacting? In the comments, Giddy Gabby says, "Not overreacting. You're not reacting enough. Why would you be moving in or engaged to someone who treats you this way? The whole point of being in a relationship is to care for one another and to ease the burdens of things. What's the point of a relationship where it's fend for yourself? You can do that for yourself already." I've been married for almost 44 years. My husband would starve before he let me go without. Your boyfriend is a selfish prick. Dump him. Yep, I would literally starve before she would. It's not that hard to understand. She's my world. Totally jump in front of a bus for her, no questions. Not overreacting. I wouldn't marry such an inconsiderate person. I'd look into breaking the lease and getting the hell out of that relationship/situation. He has shown you who he is. Believe him and don't take any of his crap. If she's the one who's financially making the apartment happen, why not make him leave? That would make more sense. I really hope this is fake. Not only does your fiancé not like you, but he legit hates you. And OP says, "I wish that it were fake too." I'm so embarrassed reading the comments because I've been so blind. Don't be embarrassed. It's really difficult to see when you're in the thick of it and constantly reminding yourself of the person that you fell in love with. The important part to remember is that the wonderful, sweet, loving, and caring person is part of the abuse. It's a character that they use to trap you in the cycle. When you have your wake-up call, it's really easy to look back at yourself and feel silly or confused at what you tolerated, but give yourself grace. I'm sorry that you've experienced a relationship like this. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. Yeah, I would break up with him. Not overreacting at all. You are severely underreacting in this situation. Especially being engaged, in my honest opinion, that's still a bit of a honeymoon period. Like, you're still on your best behavior. You haven't fully settled in to the security that a full, set-in-stone marriage is. You still have to be on your best behavior because you haven't gotten married yet. Not to say that anyone should ever do what this guy is doing, but for me this is a form of complacency, because if this had happened before, I'm sure OP would have mentioned that, and yet she doesn't. This is a new behavior of his. He is happy now to let the mask slip because he is convinced that she is fine with it. She has been conditioned to accept this behavior. What a piece of shit. Just oh, no, this frozen food that I went and picked up while I know that you have no access to money, that's mine. Don't you dare touch that. That's my lunch. Oh, you should just not eat for 24 hours, but I should eat because I'm hungry. It's different for you because people say, like, why wouldn't you just kick him out? I think breaking the lease and just getting the fuck away from him as fast as possible is probably the better option, if I'm honest. Like, you can control that situation. You don't have a psycho that's potentially going to tear the house apart and make it more difficult than it needs to be when you break up with them. This is breakup worthy. Get rid of him, OP. And now, on to the update. Hi everyone. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to everyone who left reassuring comments and advice. I truly appreciate it all. Second, I was able to have someone bring me food, so my stomach was full. Third, the apartment is mine, and my name is the only one on the lease. Once everything went down and I read some comments that opened my eyes to the abuse I was facing, I called my mum in Florida. She and two of my cousins started the drive up immediately, and they made it here earlier today. I'm happy to report that they helped get my ex-fiancé and all of his belongings out of my apartment. He was not happy at all, of course. He attempted to call and text hundreds of times, but I blocked him on literally everything so that he has no access. I do feel sad that the last 7 years of my life was a waste, but onward and upward, I suppose. My mum and cousins are staying for the weekend to help me unpack and to settle down. Once again, thank you so much for the support, and I'll post another update if anything changes. Edit to add, he's moving back in with relatives pretty far away from me, so he won't have regular access to me. In the comments, it's a picture of Patrick Bateman chillin', saying, music to my internet ears. Congrats, I'm happy for ya. Tried to call and text hundreds of times? Oh my god. Probably would have been less effort to just buy you food in the first place. I hope the next person is an angel and spoils you with your favorite foods randomly all the time. OP says, aw, yay. I'm so glad you caught my update. Thank you for all your support on the last post. And yes, I know, right? Literally 173 messages. Yeah, I immediately recognized the post. Good for you. 173 is literally more than the number of things on the Cessna plane pre-flight checklist. I'm in flight school. I don't want to make you keep thinking about it, but I admit I'm curious about some of those messages. OP, I am delighted to hear this. Obviously, immediate consequences is satisfying, but more importantly, you deserve this. I'm so happy for you, and I'm very proud of you for standing up for yourself. Hell yeah, OP. It's what he deserved, it's what you deserve, to be away from him. I hope he stays gone, because what a monumental piece of shit to do that to you. If he thinks that it was okay to treat you like that, why is he even in a relationship with you in the first place? That's how you treat a roommate that you don't care about. And even then, a lot of good people will like their roommates and be like, oh shit, roommate, you had your card stolen. Let me get you something, I got you. I know you're a good person and you'd do the same for me. This whole situation speaks a lot about his character, and I hope he changes for the better, but there's no guarantee of that. Some of these people never learn. Like, I'm still shocked at how many people exist out in the world that are like, your reaction to my actions is wrong, and you're the problem here, not me. You're making me feel bad for blowing my actions out of proportion, when, to me, my actions are normal and I'm not the problem. It's just so much delusion. Keep those people away from me, please God. Thank you, OP, for the story and for the update. Our next post is by user Work Partner Woes, titled, Me 25 male with my girlfriend 24 female. I recently met my work partner's wife, and the differences in their personalities is making me jealous about what kind of relationship I could have. I've been with my girlfriend for 6 years, and recently, I've been wondering if she really is the one. I didn't doubt that she was until I recently started a new career and got a new partner at work, 29 male. He's been married for a year and has been with his wife, 28 female, for 7 years. We, him and I, spend over 40 hours a week together and have become fairly close. We've been talking about double dating so our significant others can meet, and when I brought it up to my girlfriend, I'll call her Sarah, she was really against the idea. In all honesty, she's been against this new career change in general, even though I make more money and get many more benefits, because she doesn't like the hours, and she says everyone in my profession cheats. When I brought it up, she became very distant and said something along the lines of, I don't remember the exact words, but why would I want to spend time with these people and give him, my partner, the idea that he's so close to me / can never know me better than she does? What does that even mean? It didn't really make sense, but after talking about it, it seemed like she felt she was being replaced by my partner because we have to spend so much time together, and I only get to see her 2 or 3 times a week with my schedule, her part-time job, and she's going to uni full-time. I assured her that she was my number one, and he was just a cool guy that I'm forced to be with due to circumstances. We didn't talk about it again for a couple weeks. Then a few weeks ago, I was at the bar with my cousin. My partner was invited, but she doesn't like my cousin because she finds him too boisterous and candid. And I ended up bumping into my work partner and his wife. This was my first time meeting her. His wife is very unlike my girlfriend, much more extroverted. She immediately got very excited when my partner told her who I was and told me about all the funny stories that she'd heard about me. I was kind of thrown off about how open and friendly she was, since my girlfriend sort of convinced me that her feelings of not wanting to meet and associate with them were normal. And like every girl would feel that way, I guess. I don't know. But his wife immediately launched into how we all have to get together finally, and watching the two of them together was just so opposite of how my girlfriend and I act. They animate each other like a 2-person comedy act, and I found myself becoming a bit jealous. I did get a little tipsy and admitted to his wife that my girlfriend was worried about the cheating that people associate with my field, and she sort of laughed and said that people say the same thing to her, but that she trusts my work partner and she just laughs it off when people say things. At work the next day, my partner ended up telling me that my cousin that I was with at the bar was talking to his wife and confessed to his wife that he doesn't even like Sarah, news to me, and that the things my cousin told her, he didn't specify, worried her, because she was really looking forward to hanging out together and she was now afraid that my girlfriend wouldn't like her. I pressed him for more details, but he either didn't know or didn't want to say. That night, I mentioned to Sarah casually that I bumped into them, and his wife really wanted to meet her. She didn't like this, and again told me that she was too busy and had no interest in pretending to be best friends with people who think that they are so close to me. I dropped it because it was late, but it started to get on my nerves how opposite these two women are and how they react to things. Then yesterday happened. My work partner and I had a really early meeting in a city about an hour and a half away, and the night prior we weren't getting out of work until 10 p.m. My work partner offered to let me stay at his house because we had to be up at 4:30 a.m. and he lives an hour closer. I was stressing out because I didn't have time to iron a suit, and I called Sarah and asked if she would go to my apartment. We don't live together, but she has a key, and set a suit up for me. It's crucial that we look put together at work, and I knew that she wasn't doing anything that night. She got really angry. First, that I was staying over at my partner's house, then that I was treating her like a slave. I have never in my life asked her to do anything like this, but I'm still very new in my position, and I'm stressed out. She said she had too much work to do, and refused. I ran home after work, grabbed my stuff, and drove to my partner's house. I guess I was visibly agitated because his wife asked me what was wrong the minute I arrived, and I just spilled about how stressed and exhausted I was, nervous for tomorrow, and how Sarah had snapped at me and wouldn't help me. His wife just said, "Okay, we'll have to get back to that Sarah thing at another time, but go relax and I will get your suit ready." I tried to argue because I felt really bad, but she wasn't having any of it and started to flat out ignore my protests while she got the iron set up. It just showed me again how different they are and what a supportive partner actually looks like. I got off really early today, and I've barely talked to Sarah all day. Now I'm just drinking beers in my apartment alone, something I rarely do, and wondering if this relationship is even worth it anymore. I don't have a crush on my partner's wife or anything like that, but she seems to possess all of the qualities that I feel like I want, and I'm finding myself getting really jealous and annoyed. But after 6 years, I really don't want to throw everything away if this is something that we can work through. In the comments, a deleted account says, "The extroversion doesn't matter. And remember, you're only seeing the side of this woman that she presents to the world / her husband's workmates. Your girlfriend, however, sounds very unsupportive, cynical, negative, and insecure. Those are all valid reasons to question a future with her. Have you asked her why her attitudes are so negative?" And Feeling Fascination says, "Although your girlfriend doesn't sound great, I think there's a lot to this that you're ignoring. You're working 40-plus hour weeks, spending almost no time with her, comparing her negatively to other women, and bad-mouthing her to your partner's wife / allowing her to be bad-mouthed by your cousin. Acting surprised that after her feeling jealous, lonely, and as though she's being shuffled out of your life, that she isn't thrilled to get a text back from you asking her to iron your suit. I mean, seriously, what response did you expect? Honey, it's so great that we make time to see each other as I hand over a nicely ironed suit for you." I'm also wondering what you see as a supportive relationship. You only talk about what she should do for you and nothing at all about supporting her or what you can do for her. It feels like you want someone to back you up in the way that a wife should, but without you having to do any of the pesky building bits, like listening to the unhappiness that she's flat up telling you about or supporting her back. It sounds like you're unhappy, and she's pushing you away and ruining this as well through her poor communication skills. The good news is that you're still young. There's plenty of time for you to have a serious relationship if Sarah is wrong for you, as it sounds like she might be. The biggest obstacle is the working hours, which it sounds like she's not prepared to accept on an ongoing basis, but which are essential to your career. It might be that now, in your new career, is the time to transition out of your old relationship. Back up to the post, there's an edit. I see I'm getting a lot of reoccurring questions, so instead of answering each of them, I'll just leave this here. We don't live together because, prior to this new job, I didn't make as much, and my apartment is very small and not meant for 2 people. And she's doing her master's and only works part-time for low pay, and doesn't want to pitch in for rent so that we can move into a bigger place. She lives at home with her parents. Even with my new job, I can't afford a bigger place all on my own yet, while also paying for student loans, utilities, my car, which is a necessity where I live, etc. Also, I know 2 to 3 times a week seeing each other is not a ton, but we spend all of my days off together. We didn't see each other more than this prior, either, because my old job was still 40-plus hours, and I was also going to school. People think it's strange that I mentioned her being introverted as if it were a bad thing. It's not. I used to think that I was happy not seeing our friends often, but my job is social in nature, and I find that I enjoy being more outgoing than I used to be. This doesn't mean that I go out every night. I see my friends / cousin maybe once every 1 to 2 months, or that I want to go to bars and clubs, but it does bug me that anytime I suggest doing anything, she makes an excuse like she doesn't like the person, has no interest in meeting new people, doesn't feel like seeing her friends, doesn't feel like getting dressed up, she's tired, etc. I want us to do new things together. Additionally, I've been asked a lot about what I have done to support her and why I expect support. Let me make it clear first that I've never asked her to run an errand or do anything for me before. I asked this one time because I was exhausted and stressed. I didn't expect her to drive an hour to drop it off at my parents' house. I just wanted her to leave it on my bed so that I could grab it on my way home. As for what do I do to support her, I've helped her many times with research for papers when she was stressed over school. I've taken a week off work when one of her relatives died and she needed to be with someone. I've taken her car to get fixed numerous times, etc., etc. I text or call her whenever I can, which is multiple times a day, and I talk to her every night when I get off. I don't even spend tons of off-duty time with my partner. The one time at a bar was literally the first time that I've seen him outside of work. We've just been talking about all getting together for ages. I hope this clarifies some points a bit. I get where the comments are coming from because they didn't have enough information to come to a conclusion about this one, but for me, if OP is seeing big differences, I don't think it's just because of this version of OP's partner's wife that she presents to OP. I'm sure she also has her bad days. I'm sure she also has qualities that are not the best. Everyone does. I just think that OP sees his partner as having so many negative qualities, so many values that do not align with him, where he is at now in his life. And I've just got a feeling that it's not going to get any better. You can go to couples counseling to talk openly and honestly about this one and have a mediator kind of help work this out if that's what the both of you do want. But I see it as life is happening. Life is moving on. People's paths used to cross, they used to diverge, they used to be close together. But now your paths are moving away from each other. Your values are not aligned like they used to be. Your values are not shared. You are seeing an emulation of someone whose values are much more in line with yours. It is perfectly acceptable to be questioning your relationship in the state that it's at and wondering, hey, do I give in to the sunk cost fallacy and not throw away what we have, or do I make the hard decision of having that conversation and potentially breaking up with this woman who I feel like I don't share enough in common with anymore, who I am not comfortable creating a life with? And I don't think OP is a bad person for having these thoughts at all. I think OP is very much human. And now, onto the update. Sorry it's been a little while, but I decided to update after the past week of what has been going on with me and Sarah. First though, I wanted to add the edit that I included in my OP here, since people were asking the following questions a lot, and I'm not sure if everyone saw it. So now that that's out of the way, I'm not a spy or a hitman or something crazy. A few of you tried to convince me that I'm an asshole for not disclosing my job, since apparently I can't be given advice without saying it. I described so many details in my last post that I hope people can just give me at least 1 ounce of anonymity. My career is known for cheating only because of the unpredictable hours. Some scumbags, apparently a lot of them on Yahoo Questions and Wedding Bee and other cesspits of advice that show up on Google, use these hours to their advantage, i.e., oh, I got caught on overtime tonight, when really they are out cheating. This is not a prevalent thing in my experience, but my girlfriend Sarah was Googling my career spouse, came across hundreds of articles, most of them benign, and latched on to the few that stated that we all used our schedules for the sake of cheating and nothing else. Anyway, on to the update. I'm not delusional. A lot of you told me that the only reason I admired my work partner's wife is because she showed me her best face in public. Of course this is true. I don't expect anyone to be perfect. What stands out to me, however, is that there is a lot of downtime in my position, and my partner and I bullshit. Every single thing that he has ever said about his wife is positive. Naturally, I would hope that that would be the case for anyone, but I see something in the way that he talks about her that I do not feel when I think about Sarah. He ruminates about their vacations and silly stories and stupid random nights that they have together, and I realize that I don't get to enjoy any of that with her. Sarah doesn't like being out of her comfort zone. She doesn't like being spontaneous. She doesn't like being silly. I never knew that this bothered me before, but when I saw how funny and silly they acted together right in front of my face, it just confirmed that I could actually have fun in a relationship. It made me realize that I am not having fun, and that sucked. So, after I slept over at my work partner's house, Sarah wasn't talking to me except for sending me passive-aggressive texts about how she hoped that I enjoyed my romantic evening and that she hoped he was worth it. Many of you indicated how insecure she must be that we can barely spend that much time together, and suddenly, it seemed like I'm becoming close to someone new when after 6 years, we maybe weren't as close as we could be or should be. I took this to heart, and I saw her point. So the next time that I was off, this past Sunday, I took her out to brunch, one of the few activities that she likes to do. bought us some mimosas to break the ice, and tried to talk to her about the way that she's been feeling. I started the conversation saying, I know it sucks that we can't see each other as much as we wish we could right now, and believe me, I wish that could be the case. However, I feel like this is causing more tension than it used to, and I want to know what you've been feeling about all of this lately. I was hoping for an honest conversation where we would both learn from each other and move forward with new compromises, but she just unleashed. She told me that she just doesn't think that I have a reason to be close to anyone but her, that my partner sounds like an F word, Jesus, her words, that just wants to fuck me, that his wife is probably just fed up with not getting any dick from him and is trying to move in on me, and on and on. Wow. In retrospect, I feel like she's just very insecure, and this was her way of attacking me and trying to hold me back so that I could reassure her. But at the moment, I couldn't think of a way to respond. I tried to deny what she was saying, explained to her that it wasn't the case, and asked what I could do to show her, but she just kept verbally assaulting my partner and his wife, and me for even entertaining the idea of being friends with them. I stopped talking, and we ended up finishing our meal in silence. Her fuming, me just feeling awkward at this point. Afterwards, we got back into my car, and I started driving towards her house. She noticed that we weren't going towards the direction of my apartment, and she started yelling at me for trying to drop her off and not wanting to spend more time with her. At this point, I had had enough. I drove to her house in silence, her berating me the entire way, and then listened to her continue to scream at me for 10 minutes after we pulled up until finally getting out, slamming the passenger door, and going inside the house. I went back to my apartment, spent about 30 minutes on the phone with my sister, 2 years younger than me, asking her what the fuck should I do, and then decided, probably cowardly, after such a long relationship, but really not wanting to be screamed at anymore, to send her a long text message about my reasons for breaking up with her. She didn't take this well, and blew up my phone over and over until I just turned it off completely. The next day I had work, and I tried to talk to her about things back and forth over text, but she kept deferring back to her state of cursing at me and insulting me. In the end, I just told her that I could no longer be a part of her life, and blocked her. So, that was 4 days ago, and I haven't heard from her since. She deleted her Facebook though, and honestly, I felt a lot calmer these last 4 days than I have in a long time. It makes me feel guilty at times, but also kind of excited that I can act however I want to act from now on without someone looking down at me for it. In the comments, Foxy Lush says, "Man, watching him grow out of that relationship in real time was wild. Sometimes you don't realize how small someone makes your world until you step out of it. Good for him for choosing peace." OP saw a healthy relationship for once and noticed how toxic his girlfriend was. Hopefully that was the end of it. What the hell is his job? My money's on some kind of lawyer. Man, I was not expecting that blow up, especially in a public place. You'd expect that back at home where no one else can hear you, but Jesus Christ, you're having mimosas. You're gonna be surrounded by so many people. I would be dying having a partner across from me saying this in public. I think I'd honestly just get up, pay for the meal, and walk out of there. I don't think I could actually handle having a conversation like that in public. That is truly deranged. She is a deranged freak. It is sad that it took this long for OP to come to the realization that she was a lost cause, but really it's better late than never. It's not your fault, OP. A lot of people succumb to similar situations. It takes time to recognize the signs of abuse. That's not your fault at all. I'm glad that you got out of there and you blocked her and that she's not stalking you like a lot of people get with their dickhead partners when they leave abuse. Because apparently, losing control is the end of the world and I have to stalk you. I have to make sure that I still have control in some way. I hate people like that. I hate her. She is a mess. You are better off without her, OP. Thank you for bringing this story to us and thank you for updating. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!